Today in 2012 Ford Explorer, we're going to install part number 4427-3A. This is the Roadmaster MX baseplate kit with removable arms. Our first step is to go ahead and open up the hood. We have to remove some hardware from this panel right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bolts, and 1, 2 plastic fasteners. Okay, pull out the plastic rivets. We just work the centers out, then pull out the bottom. Take our panel out of the way. Now we'll get underneath the fender wells and we got to remove 4 fasteners. It does help to turn the steering wheel to the inside so we get easier access to them. The screws removed. Let's go ahead and take the fender flare and pull it out of the way. This one came apart pretty easy, but there are snaps that you take apart. Just enough to give us some working room. We'll peel back the fender flare, and here's a screw right here and here that we have to remove. We're done for driver's side. We'll go ahead and repeat the same process on the passenger side. We're going to use a trim panel tool to help work off this clip right here. Just go around it and give it a gentle twist and it'll come apart. Now we'll get underneath the vehicle and look at the driver's side. We'll go ahead and remove some hardware on the bottom. We'll remove these screws going all the way across to the passenger side. Now we're using an 8mm socket to remove the hardware. Now this vehicle has fog lights, so we'll go ahead and disconnect them. Let's push down a small tab right here. We should be able to pull it apart. Okay, done for driver's side. Let's do the same thing on the passenger side. Now at this point, we can go ahead and take off the entire bumper cover. Pull back from this edge right here. It'll unsnap, and it's a little tight through here. You also want an extra set of hands on the other side to help hold it when you take it off. Now this is our ambient temperature sensor. We'll have to remove that out of the way. Use a trim panel tool to help remove it. And just tuck that out of the way for now. Next we gotta go ahead and enlarge these holes to make sure they accommodate a 1/2" bolt. That one's good. That one's good. So the 2 outside ones we have to enlarge. All right, now we're using a 1/2" drill bit to go through here. If you got access to a grinding bit, probably make things a little bit easier. And we're using a short bit too, that way we don't have to worry about hitting the radiator behind it. Now at this point we can go ahead and start to install our base plate. First off, we'll go ahead and use these 2 bolts here. They're 3.5 inches long. We'll apply some Loctite to them as well. We'll be using part number LT37420. We'll then apply this block right here. We'll do that on both bolts. And we'll get them started into the bumper structure. Just lay them in there to get started. You'll see these eventually go through and into our base plate. All right, for the next set of hands, we'll go ahead and put our base plate in position. This part will go behind the bumper structure and this will stay on the outside. This is a tight fit between here and here for the bumper structure. One point to get it started, we use a pry bar to help get the tab over the bumper structure. And also, we just went ahead and used a rubber mallet to help tap it into place so we got the holes lined up. Once we have it in place, we'll go ahead and push our bolts through, and then we'll install a lock washer and nut. This will be the same hardware on both sides. Let's go ahead and work with these fasteners. First, we'll install the spacer. May have to do a little prying to get it to give you some clearance. We'll use an old screwdriver, stick as we got, and use that to line it up. Through the tube spacer, we'll install the 2.5-inch long bolts, plus some more Loctite. This will go straight through, and then on the back side we'll get this plate, and a lock washer, and a nut. We are done with the passenger side. Let's do the same thing on the driver's side. Now we'll go ahead and work with these backing plates. We'll need to use the two 1.5-inch bolts and some Loctite, 1/2-inch washers, and nuts. This will go towards the outside of our base plate. And our bolts will be oriented this way. Now next we'll go ahead and add to that bracket. We'll use a 4-inch bolt, this thin tube spacer, lock washer, and nut, and some Loctite again. Now this bolt will go vertical all the way through down to the bottom. Then we'll add our spacer. Then we'll run through the backing plate and on down. Ours is binding up and it's quite a tight fit, so we're just going to try to thread it through. We're done for driver's side. Let's go ahead and repeat all this on the passenger side. Now at this point, we can go ahead and tighten down all our hardware and then torque the bolts down as specified in instructions. We're using 3/4-inch sockets, deep well and long well, to tighten down our hardware. It's also a good idea to use a deep well socket to reach behind. Okay. Now we'll go ahead and take our temperature probe and put it back into place. In this case, I think we're going to have enough room to sneak it back in there. If not, you can always zip tie it to the base plate. Now, with an extra set of hands, we'll go ahead and put our bumper cover back up in position, and we'll go ahead and see what we need to mark out for our holes. It looks like it's probably best to go ahead and cut out this section to about right here. So we'll take out this whole square, one on each side. We'll go ahead and use a rotary tool to make our cuts. We trimmed our grill. Let's go ahead and put it back into place. Now, after initial test fit, we found out it binds up right here. So we're going to cut out this lower section right here to give us some more working room. Now you may have to take the bumper cover off a few times to trim it so it fits properly. Then we can go ahead and leave it in place. We'll go ahead and reinstall our fog lights on both sides. And then we go ahead and reinstall all the fasteners for a bumper cover, starting from the bottom and working our way to the top. With our bumper cover reinstalled, we're basically finished with our install. Let's go ahead and put our removable arms into place now. And from over here, we install our pin and then our clip. Let's go ahead and put one on each side. With that, that'll finish it for part number 4427-3A. The Roadmaster MX base plate kit with removable arms on our 2012 Ford Explorer.